Hey there, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Next Level Play Therapy. Today, I want to talk about some of the ways I think are going to get you better outcomes and avoid burnout in play therapy. And that's really about being part of a community. To me, that's what really made the difference. I know it made the difference for me having a community of supportive mental health professionals around me, having access to mentors and colleagues who got play therapy. I remember when I was in a consultation group this was way long time ago. And I had done all the things. I had gone through my licensing, supervision. I had passed my exam, and I was now on my way to being an independent practitioner, and I was struggling. And so I got with a community of other mental health professionals, but I was the only one working with kids and trying to use play therapy. And they were awesome. They supported me in other ways. And so it was really beneficial. But the problem was they didn't know how to do play therapy, or and that might ring true for you. And really the difference did not happen for me until I got into, well, one, until I got supervision so I could take my skills that were scattered all over the place and my imposter syndrome was off the chain. And that made a huge difference. But when I was done with that, then I was floundering again. I mean, I had more skills, but I day after day ran into kind of challenging things. And I remember one time there was a thing that happened, and I was freaking out in the session. It was a play therapy session with one of my little 8-year-old clients, and something happened in the session, and I was thinking, "Oh my gosh, nobody talked about this. What I do about this? Nobody talked about this. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do," in my head, just trying to wing it through the session. It was one of my newer clients, and thank goodness, I had found the only other play therapist in the community where I lived, which was probably around 200,000 people. So it's not like it was a tiny little town. I lived right outside Washington, D.C. So there were a gazillion people, but there weren't any play therapists where I was. I lived a little further out in the suburbs. And I remember calling my friend going, "Here's what happened," kind of hyperventilating a little bit, not really, but feeling like I was going to. And she laughed. And then she and I together, she's so good. She like helped me. She looked at a video. Thank God I had videotaped it because I had permission. Um, and then she looked at it with me, and then she kind of helped me with a few things, but I would have been lost without somebody who got it. Like, I didn't have to explain it. I didn't have to like explain the model I was using. She instantly got it, and she could instantly kind of step in and help me figure out what to do. And that was wow. That was probably almost a couple decades ago at this point. So here's what that taught me. What it taught me was the power of being in a community of like-minded professionals, right? Like, how many of you in play therapy who are trying to do play therapy, or maybe you've learned about play therapy and you've read some books, or maybe you've watched some YouTube videos or podcasts, like listening to some of mine or watching some of mine live stream episodes or replays, which are all great things. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it, right? All of these are great things. Or maybe you took a class in university and it talked about play therapy. So you had an idea, and now you're out there with your clients trying to figure out how to apply these, and you're the only child therapist in your agency. What do you do? What do you do? Or maybe you're an experienced play therapist and you feel comfortable most of the time, and maybe you're in private practice. Who do you have that you can go to talk about the tough cases? Even seasoned play therapists will struggle sometimes. Um, and so that's what I want to talk about today. What is the power? What is the benefit of being in a play therapy community? Because we don't often talk about this. We talk a lot about getting your play therapy training hours. We talk a lot about the therapeutic powers of play. We talk a lot about different activities that you can use. What we don't talk a lot about is the power of community. And here's the thing, you probably invested a lot of time and energy in the initial stages of your development, or maybe you're doing that now and you're in the licensing process, and so you have supervision and you're working with kids. But how many of you are in a private practice or an agency somewhere, and you're the only child therapist, and your supervisor for licensing is not a play therapist? And it might be awesome. I had some awesome supervisors when I was in that process, but they didn't know how to do play therapy. And I had seen it, I had witnessed it, I had experienced play therapy and when I was a special education teacher with our school psychologist, doing that with my class, my self-contained class of elementary age kids who had emotional problems, and they weren't able to be in a regular classroom. I had witnessed it. And as awesome as my supervisors were, and I learned a lot from them, I did not learn how to work with kids. I did not learn how to use play therapy. That came much, much, much later because I couldn't find anybody. There's a difference, and usually what you'll get is, they're kids, you're doing a great job, it'll be fine. Here's a book, go online, find some activities, it'll all be fine. And the reality is it isn't. I mean, it might be for the easy ones. um, you could we could all work with the easy ones. It's the ones that are a little more challenging, or maybe you can do fine in the beginning stages of play therapy when you're building a rapport. But what about in the middle phases? What about when you don't really know what's going on in your play therapy sessions? What about when you don't really know what the themes are in the play therapy sessions? What about if you're not sure if it's working? So you go online and you find all the different free online resources for different activities. Or you bought that book that's been waiting in your Amazon cart that costs like 40 bucks because it's got all the play therapy activities, or maybe 30 bucks when shipping, when else shipping's included. And now you're just trying any of them. That's the spaghetti against the wall method. That's what I call it. You just kind of throw activities and try them out and see what sticks, hoping something will stick. But then you don't know what to do for the next session, right? There's no continuity, and you're just trying your best session after session. Or what about if you're a seasoned play therapist, day after day, client after client, session after session? I mean, it gets draining for all of us. So these are the things I think that are important to talk about, and that is what we are going to be talking about today. Today, we're going to be talking about why being part of a play therapy community can get you better results and avoid burnout. So, I would love to know who's watching live on this live stream episode today. So, if you would post your name in the comments, post where you're from, what population you work with. Do you have a play therapy community? Where do you go for support? What are some of your struggles not having support? So let's talk about that today. So for those of you who are watching on the live episode, I would love it if you shared this information for those who think you might be interested. So, and also those of you watching on the replay, there's a lot of people that watch on the replay. I would still love, like, what population, post in the comments, what population do you work with? Where are you from? Are you part of a play therapy community? What are some of your struggles with not having other like-minded play therapists around you to get ideas, access to resources to help you figure out what to do in your sessions and how to work with caregivers? Post that in the comments. If you guys find this helpful, feel free to pass it along, share it across your with your colleagues and your social platforms. So let's get started for today. And for those of you who are watching, I go live every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, LinkedIn, and I also kind of live stream simultaneously on Instagram. Awesome. So IE Play Therapist says trying to create support in our community. It's important. I totally agree. We are in an inland empire, which is in Southern California. Interesting. Hey, we're kind of neighbors. I'm in Nevada. I'm from the East Coast in Virginia, right outside Washington, D.C., but my family and I moved to the West Coast here in Nevada, Southern Nevada, a little over 9 years ago. So, hey, we're kind of neighbors. I totally agree. And getting a community started, I think, is important. Especially, like, California is a big state also, so I can imagine it's kind of hard to find your community, especially when you're in smaller areas. I live in a rural community now. Nevada does not have much with play therapy. We just got it. Hi, neighbor. We just got started few years back with the Nevada Association for Play Therapy. But it's, it takes a while to get these things off the ground, but play therapy is not very big in Nevada. And I live a little more on the Utah, so like I could walk across the border to Arizona. It's like 30 minutes from there into Southern Nevada. But even Southern Nevada, for the longest time when I got started, there was I was the only registered play therapist because I had I worked in Southern Nevada at the time. I mean, Southern Utah at the time. Yeah, so it's hard to get a community together, especially if you're in an area where there's not a lot of play therapy. And I think getting to being part of a community is really important, which is one of the reasons my membership with the Association for Play Therapy is always like one of the main things that I do. So we have Martha. Martha says, I love play conferences that used to happen, and also the Arrow conferences. I don't know what the Arrow is. I'm assuming that's probably expressive arts. I don't know about the professional registration for play therapy, neurodevelopmental movement. Oh, movement therapist. And always play with my young clients. I've been doing it for about 40 years. Yeah, movement's great, especially with the neurodiverse kids. Movement, using play activities, accessing play through movement is really amazing. So, yeah, I think the struggle is hard, being able to find a community. And to me, here's why it's important to be part of a play therapy community. And I'm going to talk a little bit about, sorry, I was just checking my notes over here in my little, for those of you watching on LinkedIn, you see my nifty little banners. If you're on Instagram, you don't see my nifty little banners. Um, I got a little distracted making sure I had the right one up. Yeah. So, and for those of you who are interested in a play therapy community, you're definitely going to want to stay. I'm going to talk about play therapy elevation circle today, and then I'll give you more information in the end, because what I noticed is we don't really have communities. It is hard to get a community started. Probably you're finding that out maybe in Southern California where you're trying to get something started. So I have a kind of a membership. I would say it's like my higher level membership called Play Therapy Academy. And so we have a really strong community with Play Therapy Academy, and we meet twice a month. This is typically, Play Therapy Academy is typically for people who are interested in pursuing their registered play therapy certification. Um, but what I found as I was talking to people was there's a lot of people that need a play therapy community. They just don't need one with that level of investment of time and and finances that they need. They still want the play therapy community. They just don't need to have that much. And so that got me to thinking about, and it's very limited. I have to keep Play Therapy Academy very small in order to meet the requirements. And so what I found was there were a lot of people interested in being part of a community and saw the benefit of it, but they didn't have access to one. And that is the birth of Play Therapy Elevation Circle. So I am going to talk a little bit about that today. But first, I want to talk a little bit about why it would be useful. And so I think a lot of people I want to find the right words to say this, because I want it to come across the way that I actually mean it. And so sometimes words are really important when you're just trying to communicate something. So I think there's a tendency to not recognize the value of being part of a community, especially now, I think, excuse me, I got a little frog in my throat. Especially now, I think, with there's so much access to things online. Like you can, I mean, go on my YouTube channel, you can see all my live stream replays. And I hope they are helpful to people. That's why I do them, or listening to the podcast, or going live every week. And if you're on Instagram, you just go on my grid and you can see all the previous live streams. Uh, and I'll post free things as well. And and I think what happens is, because we have access to so much stuff, and there's a lot more resources available now that play therapy has gotten more popular. You can easily go on Amazon, or wherever you buy books. You can easily go and purchase a book about activities. You can easily go online, Pinterest, Etsy, Amazon. You can go and find play therapy activities or play therapy printables, or go on YouTube and find some play therapy activities, all for free. So you can get resources. But here's the thing. I think that's a lot like my mom will my mom will, and sometimes I do too. Like I see really um, awesome looking food recipes on Instagram in my feed, and I'll save them. No, I'm never going to go use them again. Or my mom, who for decades would accumulate recipes, and she would never use them. And it's kind of like that, right? You're accumulating all the recipes. That's not going to make you a really good cook or a great chef. In order to craft your to master your craft, you really need mentors, and you need a community around you to help you figure out what to do when this happens or what to do when that happens, right? All the problem solving that needs to happen, or what exactly does that mean, or how do you adjust here or there. You don't get that if you're just going online for the free activities, which are all awesome things. But in order to really master your craft and learn how to be a great chef, you need that community of support around you. That's true for play therapy as well. And I can't tell you how many times in Play Therapy Academy. And now I launched the beta version of Elevation Circle back in March. And so this is our first official opening right now. Right now, registration is open. It's closing on Saturday. This is our first official one. So we've had some Elevation uh, Circle mastermind meetings in there. And I can't tell you what'll happen is just that we can accomplish in like 30 minutes together as a group what will take months to accomplish, hours researching online. But the ability, like there was one Elevation mastermind meeting where we were recognizing what was going on in the session and identifying some of the themes. And then when I ask about, well, what theory model, here's how you would apply that. And then the discussion was around, well, I'll go back and read some books. But what we were able to do is say, okay, well, let's apply some of that in the session. And what is that going to look like? And as a community, your ability to get all the different feedback, like if you're a brand new therapist, brand new to play therapy, a lot of times you think that you don't have much to offer, but you do. I can't tell you how many times I've heard brand new therapists learning play therapy, and your insight and your wisdom is gold, right? Now, what we do in these mastermind meetings is to take all those scattered thoughts and ideas and not sure what to do. We take all of that, and in a 90-minute meeting, we can really kind of help you get a solid plan. And then what are you going to do moving forward? And you can't really do that alone. Even seasoned therapists, we have some seasoned therapists. When we had consultation the other day, I think it was last month, and even with seasoned therapists, you get the resources and the insights from people who come at things from a different way of thinking or a different area of expertise. And then it's like you get all the pieces to the puzzle. And I have seen this happen year after year, meeting after meeting. And so I'm a firm believer in the benefits of being part of a play therapy community with like-minded play therapists, where you don't have to explain what play therapy is. You don't really have to explain, why you did a certain activity from a play therapy perspective, because we already get play therapy. We already understand, or we're learning, right? But we're committed to the idea of accessing the therapeutic powers of play for healing. And so you can You have a community of people who already understand and can help you get there faster. So, what is in Play Therapy Elevation Circle? So, in Elevation Circle, we meet for monthly circle mastermind meetings where we come together. You can staff a case, ask a question, get support with clients, or like if there's a specific topic, like working with high conflict divorced families always comes up. Those are, or really challenging parenting dynamics and needing some support to help parents feel supported while also helping to make those shifts, or dealing with clients who, what I affectionately call little tiny tornadoes, because their emotion dysregulation is really creating havoc in their lives. And so getting support for that might be just maybe a topic to discuss. So we have these circle mastermind meetings once a month. And we're also, I'm very excited this starting next month, starting in September, we are adding a monthly book club. So we are going to take a play therapy specific book and do a book club on that. We'll do once a month book club. We'll do a few chapters at a time. And then that way, not only are we increasing our learning through what's in the book, then we have a group of people who get play therapy. Then we come up with ideas of how that can be implemented with your clients. So we have the monthly book club meetings, the monthly mastermind, circle mastermind meetings. There's also a play therapy community, because I'm a firm believer that between meetings, life still goes on, things still come up, and we need a place to get support. So it's like a Facebook group, but it's not Facebook. It's on my platform. So it kind of operates like a Facebook group, but it's not Facebook. In there, you can post questions. We'll post resources in there, share articles and ideas, share woes. And that's the other thing too. When you have a play therapy community that get it, like we just had the most amazing conversation in my Play Therapy Academy, one of our meetings. We just had the most amazing conversation about life, right? Like as a play therapist, how do you do it? Like, how do you juggle your own family? Maybe you have young kids, maybe you have older kids, maybe they're busy, maybe you have stressors going on in your life and you still, need to show up. And how do you do that? But here's the other thing. Even how do we support each other? How do we have a place where we can show up and be real, right? To get support, have a place to say, you know what, this is really hard some days, even for seasoned play therapists. We're in a relational profession. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is one of the I always call the therapeutic relationship the glue. So you need to have a play therapy model. So you need that theoretical model to help your clients access those therapeutic powers of play. If you don't have that therapeutic relationship, then you don't have that safety. You don't have that safe space when you hit some challenges where you can work through that and still and create that corrective healing experience through that therapeutic relationship with the child, with caregivers, because it's not always parents. Sometimes kids are living with other people. Being able to have a place to say, you know what, I'm tired. I'm getting a little crispy fried. I'm a little burned out. I feel really stale. I'm not sure what to do. I need ideas. Being able to have a community where you can come and be real, get rejuvenated by other people. We pat each other on the back. We tell each other we're doing a good thing. If there is something we give, we do challenge, not like in a really gentle, caring way, but we'll still kind of, hey, I'm not sure about that, just to kind of help make sure we're all on the right track. And and to me, that's the beauty of being able to have a place where you can go do that and feel like you can be safe to open up and say, hey, here's what's going on. So we have monthly mastermind circle meetings. We have the online community. Like sometimes like posting in there, like, here's what happened. And we're all like, oh, we got you, we got you. And then giving ideas like, hey, how about trying this, right? So there's the community group where we share resources. I always put all of the reminders in there. I do like 9,000 reminders, post the meeting schedules in there, post the links in there. And then also there's some in there in your account, there's also some guides and videos and resources that are play therapy specific to help you um, with some of the things that you might be coming across. I tried to put things in there in guides because I always feel like sometimes it helps when you write things down and you go step by step writing things down. So we have that in there as well. There's discounts for trainings and other things like that. There's also a monthly newsletter, a monthly email newsletter that keeps you up to date on what's going on in Elevation Circle. Also ideas, upcoming trainings, different things like that to kind of provide. My thought was how to provide lots of access to support in a variety of ways, because we have a variety of individuals who all get their needs met different ways. So being able to do that. So here are some of the frequently asked questions that come up. One is, how do I join? Registration is closing on Saturday, August 16th. So it's closing in on Saturday, and then you won't have access. So you'll definitely want to register before August 6th, by August 16th, because at midnight registration closes. So what you'll do is you'll go over to my website at rhplaytherapytraining.com, and my awesome virtual assistant will also put a link in the comments. But you'll want to, if you're watching on Instagram, you can also pop over to my bio and click the link in my bio. You can go over to my website at rhplaytherapytraining.com. That's renewingheartsplaytherapytraining.com. And you'll see where you can click on there. It's $17 a month for the first 60 days. That'll give you an opportunity to get in there, see, kind of check it out, find your way around, get established, make sure it's going to work for you. And then after that, it's $47 a month. So for $47 a month, you have access to a community of like-minded people where you can get ideas and resources and support to be the play therapist that you want to be, to make a difference in your community, in the lives of children and their families. So that's how you join. You can cancel at any time. I made it really easy. Actually, my virtual assistant, May, made it really, really easy. She's awesome. If it's not for you, there's a place you just click. I hate it when you get a subscription and they make it super hard to end. Like, people, life happens and gets a little busy. So we made it super easy. We hope you stay. A lot of people do stay. So I hope you will stay, because you'll find it beneficial and you'll find your support group. So you can cancel at any time. The meetings, this is kind of a global, that's the other thing. It's like so exciting. My dream is this for to be a global community. So we globally can connect as play therapists. So what I've done is we meet at different days and times each month to accommodate different time zones. And if you're not able to join, they're all recorded. So the circle mastermind meetings, they don't stay up forever. We keep those up for a couple weeks so that anybody who missed the meeting, you can watch the meeting. Or if you were in the meeting and there was a lot discussed and you want to go back and watch it, I do that a lot. Then you can watch the recording. The book club replays will stay up. So you'll always be able to stay up to date with those. So those are recorded so you don't miss out on those. The other one that comes up a lot is, do I need my play therapy, my registered play therapy credential? No, you don't need it. If you no, you don't need your play therapy. You don't have to be a registered play therapist. Um, if you are looking for getting your RPT credential, then Elevation Circle would not be the membership for you because it's not going to meet the criteria for the Association for Play Therapy. That would be Play Therapy Academy. If you're pursuing your RPT and you're interested, then you would definitely want to check out Play Therapy Academy, because this is not for people who want to pursue their RPT credential. And the other question that comes up is like, what if I'm really new to play therapy? I would say this is the place for you. It's a place to kind of get a better sense of play therapy. Maybe you think I may want to pursue my RPT credentials at some point in the future, but right now I just don't think so. Then this would be the membership, because we are going to give a lot of support, and it isn't going to have that high level of investment that would be required if you were pursuing your RPT credential. And if you already have your RPT credential, or maybe you're a play therapist outside of the US and you are looking for support, then Play Therapy Elevation Circle would definitely be a place where you can get that. So if you have any other questions, feel free to message me. I'm happy to answer all of those. Registration does close though soon, so if you don't want to wait too late. And if you're not sure, then just pop over to my website and check it out. Ask me a question. I'm happy to answer those. So let me do a little recap of today, and then we're going to end. So today we were talking about really the benefit of being part of a play therapy community, to be able to have access for support. Bye, Southern California neighbor. They're on Instagram, because if you're watching on the podcast, you're wondering why or listening on the podcast, you're wondering why I just said goodbye randomly. So I created Play Therapy Elevation Circle to provide for a need that I saw in the profession, where you have access to support, a supportive community of play therapists, where you can get help figuring out what's going on in the sessions. You can get help figuring out how to apply your play therapy model. You can get help trying to figure out if play therapy is even working, or how to work more effectively with caregivers and provide support there and get more engagement with caregivers, how to pull all of your scattered ideas about activities and what to do, pull all of those and get a strategic plan so that you can have a deeper impact and make more of a difference. If you're interested in Play Therapy Elevation Circle, you're going to want to register before or by registration closes at midnight Pacific time on August 16. So you're definitely going to want to join before then. And what you're going to want to do is pop over to my website at rhplaytherapytraining.com. You'll see all of the information about Elevation Circle. You can, if you decide you want to register, it's only $17 a month for the first 60 days. So you can try it out, see if it's for you, get kind of oriented to where everything is. Takes a little minute to do that. And message me if you have any questions. Play Therapy Elevation Circle closes on Saturday, August 16th. So you're going to want to pop over to rhplaytherapytraining.com. That's Renewing Hearts Playtherapytraining.com, and join today. Be part of the movement to make a difference in the lives of children and their families for generations to come, and get the support that you need to avoid feeling burned out, overwhelmed, and second guessing every decision that you make. So I will see you next week. Bye for now.